Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of Hillwarden Going Medieval. So, a lot of stuff unfolded today, a lot of bad stuff as well as good stuff, but we'll look at all that in good time. I do have a poll out on my channel right now that is on the community page for the posts, and that's for basically a poll for what game that I should play next. I have it all picked out for this year, but you guys can choose which one if you're interested. Outside of that, let's get into the game. So I started to notice that there was some stuff being left behind, not being picked up by our dog, and I then checked the domestic animals tab, and it turned out that our dog was no longer. So I have no idea what happened to it at this very point. It's not with us, so I'm not sure really where it went. After that, of trying to figure out what happened to it, there was no remains or anything like that, so I just started working on getting the farm for the flax expanded. This is going to be a little bit larger here. We have a pretty good part right here designed, and I took down that other barrier there for the walls so we can expand our flax directly here. We had a hailstorm, which was really good because we could actually test to see how the crops are holding up. We had some crops under some of the things, and it looks like they all didn't take damage at all. So I think this was partly due to some of them, not many, being outside, but a lot of them actually being under the grates as well. I was doing some tasks around the kitchen and I noticed some remains, and I checked that out, and it was apparently our dog. It was killed by a wolf apparently, so yeah, I think it's time to get actually a wall set up. I don't think we're going to be able to build a clay one as soon as we really need, so let's start working on that, I think. So we're actually in a really good spot where we have a lot of wood on hand, and it's just a matter of figuring out where we want these palisade walls to go. So we have all the wood that we need. It's just a matter of figuring out where we need to actually put all these. So yeah, I decided to go over the river, give us a little bit more room over on this side, and I made a really fatal mistake. If you're playing Going Medieval, you might have figured out what I just did there, but yeah, we'll come back to that later on. In the meantime, we got another dog. This one's domesticated. It came onto the map here. It's actually a male, so we have a male and a female male now, which really means we have to protect them like constantly, because I don't want either of them to die. So I got rid of that other two barns. I think we're going to go a little bit diagonal on that one. And then a huge flood started, and I wasn't sure what was happening at first. I then realized that it was because the river was completely blocked off. So we got a settler over here to go ahead and demolish one of those. We put windows in instead, and that seemed to fix the issue. Once the block was destroyed for the thing, it basically demolished into just a wet area, so that was good. The river over here is a little bit thick though. So we did put those windows in, and the other ones seem to be doing fine. It hasn't flooded or anything like that, so I'm pretty sure we're good for that now. So we were looking for trees to chop down, and we got most of the wall set up, but then there was an event where some rats burrowed into our actual cave here, or cellar. Our dog thankfully just left the cellar when they spawned in, so I got all the settlers that were in melee to go and take care of that. We just sent them in and with weapons, and there were so many rats in there. There was like, basically our cellar floor was completely filled with rats after we were finished with them. We were making major progress with the actual walls and stuff like that. I have two gates in place right at the moment where we're gonna have two different parts, but that's good for now. So a dog was straying away a little bit further from the torches, so I sent our bowsmen and infantry in to go deal with the wolves. So we took down a couple wolves, and then a lot more wolves ended up coming to feast. I sent our bowsmen away because we didn't really need them at this point. Our infantry was doing just a good job. Sandy, of course, is a rebel of herself and decided to go take on one wolf on herself. That was fine. She survived and didn't get injured, and then we got the rest of them over here done. Later on, we had a raid. So our wall wasn't fully finished yet. We actually had quite a few gaps still to fill in, and I wasn't sure how this was all going to plan out because this was a sudden raid, not like something we could plan for. So we decided to get everyone into the tower. That seemed to work for us quite often on the other parts. So everyone got in the tower, and we had our bowsmen up. I had Juliet outside of the tower to kind of lure them in because it's the looters again, and they're just focused on looting. So I thought having a settler out would probably be a good idea. And yeah, well, Juliet decided to stand in the doorway and get stabbed a bunch of times, which was not good. And then they just kept attacking her, so she went down and died, which is very unfortunate. Everyone got a bad mood effect from that. But we did get quite of them taken out. The rest of the people were completely fine. She took the brunt of the damage, and none of them were low enough on health to actually go ahead and capture, unfortunately. So, yeah. So we have to find a place to bury her. And when I mean find a place to bury her, I also mean find which one of these people are actually Juliet, because there's a lot of them. I did eventually find her. So it was this one right here where it says Juliet something or other. So I needed to find a place to actually put the grave, and I figured keeping it close to where she fell would probably be good. So yeah, we'll build a stone one here, and we'll get Rolf over here to build that up, and then bury her immediately. These animals are already starting to feed on her, and don't really want that to happen. So we buried Juliet right next to the flax farm there. It's probably one of the nicest places right by the main gate, so yeah, that'll be a good spot for now. We also built a cartographer table. We got Angus to do that so we could actually see where everyone is located. We're actually situated in a pretty good spot. We have at least 3 or 4 factions nearby, so that's really good. And yeah, it looks good for that part. We also finished that wall, so we got this section all built up, and it's now fully cased in the palisade, so our dogs should be safe at this point now. So we just need to fix that one last wall in, and then we'll be good to go. So that's finally done, and should help us with building and planning out our city as well. So I'm pretty happy with that, and it looks really good. So everything comes at a cost, of course, and unfortunately we didn't get the palisade built in time before we could save Juliet, but that's alright. We have 2 dogs now, both male and female, that we'll be able to breed, and we're already in the progress of taming them, so that will be really good for the future for getting our buildings and stuff and items pulled away without needing other settlers. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, comment down below, rate the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Peace out.